Guys, welcome to the review show. My name's Austin. Welcome. We're going to be talking about Terrifier 3. If you guys weren't part of the channel we talked about Terrifier 2 last year when it came out. It was last year, right? I think it was.
I think it was 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago? Has it been that long? Oh, it was 2 years ago.
That's actually crazy. The budget for Terrifier 2 was $250,000. That's it.
How much is this one? Uh,
Uh,
I would assume it's probably double
Two
than that.
million. Two
Two.
million.
Uh,
Dude. Dude, that's like
Honestly, that kind
eight
of
times.
explains a lot. That really does explain a lot with all the stuff that we saw. Um, we're gonna do non-spoilers. This is gonna be a non-spoiler review. So anyone that's worried about us spoiling things, you don't have to worry about that. We both liked Terrifier 2. I thought Terrifier 2 was pretty good for what it was. I knew going into it wasn't really expecting very much of good acting. And I wasn't really focusing that much on the story. But I think we both agreed on that Terrifier 2 had some form of story, but it didn't really focus on. I think it didn't focus on it until the third act. It kind of forced in this Jesus subplot with the girl towards the end, and next to her dad all connected to it, and that kind of comes all back into this one. And the story is way more focused in this one than the second one, and it kind of actually hurts the movie. People might get bad because this one is getting great reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, so people might throw slander at me for saying something negative, but that's just the true fact. I didn't go into this expecting a story. That's not what I. That's I don't. It's a it's a supernatural clown killing people. I don't think there's much of a story to it, but this movie is really pushing heavily on this religious message in this. What? Quit doing that. He's messing with Zoom right now. With this religious message with this girl. It's not really a religious message, but it's a subplot in the film with this girl being almost like the form of Jesus against this entity, and it just bogs down the film a lot, which that doesn't even actually get brought up again till the third act. There's flashbacks throughout the film with her dad, and it's like this is stuff we already know. It's like this is stupid. Doesn't make any. It's like it's not adding much, and it doesn't. It makes less sense here than it did in the second one. It actually made less sense because it didn't really add anything new. So, um, before I get into any more details, you got it. What's your thoughts? By the way, this is
Yeah, so
Colby. So
hey guys, I'm Colby, I'm Asian.
yes.
Uh I'm studying at ASU and yeah. Anyways, Terrifier 3, I feel like it delivered exactly what the fans wanted. At least from the franchise. Much more blood, much more scariness, of course, more Artie the Clown. Now, Damien Leone, he really pushes the boundaries of horror yet again, giving us a film that's definitely not for the faint of heart, not at all. So, I mean, I feel like this movie definitely dove deeper into Art's origin story, as well as
Not
leaving us a
really.
lot of mystery.
Not really. It, it, it-
Well,
there was origins in it, but can I guarantee you cannot tell me a single thing about his origins though.
well, he definitely hibernated for like 5 years.
Now it was it five? It seemed like present because it cut. There was one scene that said present day, and next it was him in I think a few months passed. I don't think it was for 5 years. It was
Probably a
five.
couple
It
months.
was it was 5 years from the second movie. That's what I'm understanding. No, no, actually, no. You actually might be right. Actually, now thinking about it, because the movie
But
opens very strangely because the movie opens with in the present day with him killing this household, which is fucking brutal. Which I will get to the kills later, and next it cuts back to the second film at the end of that second film, connecting the pieces of where he's been, type of deal. And next we jump back to the present time, which is very a little confusing. So you're actually right on that aspect. So but there,
aside from that, what was his name? David Thornton, David Howard Thornton.
yeah,
He played. He played tremendously great embodiment of Art the Clown. I mean,
No, he's
his
still great in it.
performance, yeah, his it's just
He,
it embodies the silence and like the menacing force that art is in itself. And I feel like Terrifier 3 uses this to the full effect, right? As far as plot, not so much, but the gore aspect was definitely cranked up to 11. They definitely went overboard on the practical effects and realism, as shown by the $2 million budget. But
yeah.
yeah, other than that,
And then, it's funny. It's like, okay, so like the plot of the film actually is just very dull, very boring. Doesn't It's like because it doesn't really make any sense. So Art the Clown comes out of this hibernation, and next he just goes on a killing spree. But he comes back to where the our main chick is. I forget. I don't remember her name. I don't care to be honest. Um, because I guess he's coming back to finish the job. We don't know, but he stops on the way killing other people. It's like, okay, this is kind of strange. I don't, what's the purpose of it? Just to have the kills. And so she has actually like zero interaction with Art the Clown throughout the whole entire film until like the last 15 to 20 minutes of the film. And it's like, okay, that's kind of lame and dumb. It's like and Halloween Ends where like it's like promoted as like the final big showdown between uh Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, and that was literally like the only last 10 minutes of the film, and it's like really that and we were
yeah,
focusing on this other kid who has zero impact on the story. That's kind of somewhat the similar relations to this film I have. Even though that a lot of the kills are really cool, they definitely stepped up the kills in this movie. A lot of people I guess vomited from the bedroom scene in the second one. Not going to get into details about the bedroom scene, but if you've seen the second one, you know what we're talking about. They kind of take that up to a notch and do more stuff like that in this one, but they're very spread out throughout the film. And next there's like, and that's where kind of the story hurts it because the movie really focuses on the like, the psychological aspect of this girl and the aftermath, which could be interesting, but it just wasn't, and it really slowed the film down. And it's because this just wasn't something I honestly cared about and didn't was not wanting from a movie about a supernatural clown killing people. I was kind of like, more in the over the top and fun side of it. And so whenever the clown was killing people, that's when I was having fun with it. And next, every time we cut back to whatever her name is in the house and having these panic attacks, and it's like, okay, all right, whatever, I don't care. Um, t but that's
yeah, I agree. And honestly, like I feel like going into the film, right, I had the same mentality as going into Terrifier 2, which is definitely I really enjoyed the plot of Terrifier 2. Like I really enjoyed just the entire like I could kind of track what was going on.
it's pretty much
But
how
in this third
Terrifier 2 is
one,
pretty much Halloween, where it's like Michael Myers is just
yeah,
going around killing people. But
basically. But this third one, I feel like it's actually a really good intro to spooky season. I mean, if you just look at the gore aspect and all of that, you kind of just focus on that aspect. It was actually a really good film. I mean, like
yeah,
going out of it, you don't really care about the plot. I mean,
that
going
was
out of it, I
like
was just thinking about all of the kills, and I'm like,
I have no
a little too
I
much.
I honestly have no incentive to ever watch this again unless it's like at a party, like a Halloween party, or if I have an idea for a series to do on the channel. I don't really have the need to go back and watch this besides check out certain kills clips on YouTube. And that's mostly because they're so far apart. And honestly, some of the kills were a little bit too long. Like sometimes it took too long to set up the kills, and sometimes it took too long to end the kills. So like, it's like I think one of the things that we asked from in our original Terrifier 2 review is that we asked for like more kills like the bedroom scene, please. And next they did give us that, but they kind of overdone it to a degree that you can start seeing the wizard behind the curtains type of deal, and it kind of became, instead of like a what the fuck type of deal, came to like, okay, all right, it's a little bit now this is just gross. You're just beating up a dead corpse. I get it, he's a serial killer and he's kind of and a supernatural clown. I get it, but it just seems like you were trying to drag out the runtime and throughout the film. And so whenever you're just seeing him beat this dead corpse, it's like, okay, can we move on? Like the pacing is a little bit back, goes a little bit all over the place. So even though I
It felt like a
liked
John Wick movie.
John,
It's
well,
like if
John,
John Wick was in the horror Halloween genre.
I guess, but John Wick has better pacing than this.
I
And
agree.
so it came. So even though there's things about the movie I really like, I have no incentive to go back and watch it. And I honestly, and like you could have honestly took out our main chick, and it could have been all point of view from Arts and Clowns point of view of the whole entire movie, and actually shows up towards the end, and that it would have been probably a better film, maybe, because I just did not care about her psychological issue because every time that they would cut back, it's always someone crapping on her, and you have this like college girl that had a podcast that doesn't go anywhere, and it's like it didn't really add anything to the film. Interesting idea that just didn't go anywhere. That's the polite way I
Yeah,
can put it.
personally speaking, I don't know why people watch these kinds of movies. I mean, you
They're
got people in the
psychos.
theaters. Yeah, no, exactly. People are like I
They,
was
they
just
were cheering.
utterly
There were people
shocked.
cheering
Yeah,
in the, but
they were
like,
laughing like
I mean, I was
spoiler
laughing
alert, some
too.
dude was getting cut in half, and then like you just see this guy burst into laughter, and I'm like, I'm just in shock, honestly. But
Oh no,
like,
yeah, like I was like I would be laughing at first, and next, the complaint say again, but I was trying to think of another word, but to repeat somewhat re-say again is that like it would just go on for way too long, and so it's kind of like almost like an awkward laugh. Like now it's like, can we?
like
Okay.
okay, can we stop now?
All right, I get that
Stop
you.
now.
Tom Cruise like over. It's like they're over too confident in their practical effects. They're like, hey, like see, we got a bigger budget. Here's all the cool practical effects that you guys been asking for. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but now it's just becoming fucked up and messed up, and that's just not really my cup of tea. Like, there was somewhat borderlines of like, pushing the boundaries in the second one that I thought there was a good balance between it, that this one kind of gone a little bit too far with it. And some people might be
Yeah, like
upset that I'm saying that, but that's just the truth.
exactly. Like while Terrifier 2 did stay true to like its roots of intense gore and blood and all of that, I've arguably speaking, it's gone a little too far. I mean, yeah, he definitely did a great job at pushing like the shock value and the violence of the
I'll
entire film,
I'll say
but
that
pushed a
this
little too far, and I feel
yeah.
like it lost some of the finesse that the film usually has.
Which I will say it's not because of who gets killed, and there's a lot of young people that get killed in this movie. A lot of young kids get killed.
Order,
Um,
what is that from Star Wars?
Order
Order
66. He literally ordered
66.
66, all these kids on Christmas. They were all on the naughty
Shit was
list.
crazy.
Um, which that was not the issue. I think probably a lot of people that were probably going to walk out of this that weren't really used to Terrifier are probably going to complain about like kids dying in the movie. That's not my issue. My issue is that there wasn't really a balance between the gore aspect and the pacing of it. And so
Yes, the story was definitely underdeveloped for sure.
I don't,
But the shock factor was like up here,
yeah.
but the story was like
And I started feeling the movie to drag. Like this movie was like 30 to 40 minutes too long. It didn't need to be 2 hours. This like it was not worth the there was a lot of stuff that could have been taken out, and but pretty much overall a very enjoyable film. If you're a big fan of the Terrifier franchise, you will have a great time with this one. Just to be aware of that, you're definitely going to get more of this. You're going to get more some form of story. I don't think it really add that much to the story, but there is some form of story there in the movie. But
well,
I felt like it dragged the film.
yes, and I feel like part of that is because we didn't feel an emotional connection to the actual characters, right?
No,
None at all whatsoever.
no.
I feel like you have to
There's
have that strong, complex, emotional kind of connection with the character in order for it to, have that shock factor too. Because like if you keep just doing that, it becomes repetitive.
Yeah,
But
I mean, like you do see that, like our main lead from the previous film bonding with her secondary family, like with her aunt and our what was her little cousin? I think that's what uh sh she was. Like you do see them somewhat bond, but they don't really talk about anything. They don't really, you don't really get an understanding of their personality. It's just like, oh, I missed you. You were gone for way too long. And it's like, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
I know a lot of people that I have not seen in years. Doesn't mean I care about them that much. So,
yeah.
it's I don't like if you're gonna do a story and you're gonna make that a focus point, then you have to at least try a bit more than that. That
Yeah,
and
it definitely caters to the more like extreme gore audience than like the complex storytelling or psychological like horror aspect of the film.
I mean, like if they wanted to go into that, if they really wanted to put the franchise on its head and be like, hey, actually, this girl, she's just crazy. Everything that happened in the other film wasn't real, or she did it. If they really wanted to do that, then I guess you could have. But it just at the end of the day, it just didn't add anything. And
Yeah.
she just literally goes through the same some form of character arc as she did in the second one. That's pretty much
Basically,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know what else to talk about. I mean, like what
I
I'm
mean, it
kind of
was just a
disappointed a
little
little bit.
desensitizing. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
desensitizing, honestly.
Still somewhat processing, but I don't want to get into the details of the kills. Well, without going into the details of the kills and who and what the kills were, or what would you say is your like the favorite kills? Like describe like I guess the set area is the best way to
Ooh,
give an idea. I say this bathroom scene was probably the best, even though it did go a little bit too long after a certain kill. But like the start of it, I'm like, fuck, Jesus Christ! Like, all right, here we go. I guess I don't know, but and the opening was pretty cool. I guess I do like that opening because it does just say like, hey, this might not be for you type of opening. Um,
yeah.
so I don't know.
I would have to say so. The shower scene definitely a little weird for one. It's like
Yeah,
just without spoiling anything, it was definitely weird. But my favorite scene was probably the opening scene because you probably see probably like maybe 20, no, not even 20, 10% of the actual gore of the film, right? But the fear aspect is like 1,000 from just the sound,
yeah.
like just how it kind of rolled during that moment.
I wish the movie was more of that opening where it wasn't
Yeah, I
like
agree.
it lingered too much on the kills and
Yeah,
it was showing like like looking at the kills like literally like you would see Arthur cutting up a corpse that is already dead and it's like all right, move on to the next guy that's literally running away from you right now. And
yeah.
so that's pretty much our thoughts on it. I don't like, I want to say go out and support it only if you're a Terrifier fan. If you're not a Terrifier, if you've never been introduced to this franchise before, I mean, this one definitely I don't think you have to see the other ones. There's a couple of references to the first two, but this one literally just rehashes what the second one does that you wouldn't
Yeah.
have honestly missed anything. Um,
As
and
a Christian and a Catholic man, I would say definitely go to confession before and after the film.
Lord, I'm
Yeah.
sorry for supporting torture films. This is, you could use this film as to torture someone. So there you go. That's what would you give the grade? What would you give this movie as a grade?
On a grade scale, like a horror grade scale or like a
Like
movie grade.
like just in general, like 1 to 10, A, B, C, D, F, E, G.
I give it a solid 5.8.
5.8. Wow.
5.8.
So
That's
average.
probably yeah, C, just C. Yeah,
Just a C.
it's in the
I was in the
C.
same realm.
No plus, no minus.
I was gonna give it like a C minus.
Yeah,
It's like because the way I see a C minus is like okay, it's like it's good one watch. Probably would never really watch it again unless I have a reason to. But
yeah,
I don't see myself ever really watching this again unless like I maybe since I have the commentary series going on the channel now, maybe I'll bring someone else along to witness the Terrifier franchise and get their reaction on that as the on the commentary stuff. But I just I walked out more like did being more like was I satisfied or not? And I was kind of
Yeah,
both. And so I don't know. But by the way,
I
guys,
agree.
go check out Dubby. They're a small energy drink company. There's none of their stuff is in this shaker right now. It's Powerade because I can't have caffeine at the middle of the night. But they sell like energy drink stuff. Use my code ACrawford05 to get 10% off, and it supports me on the channel. And so go check that out. Um,
Sweet. Also, guys, just a side note, also check out Prime Energy.
no, no,
Prime
not
Energy
don't
right here.
support. No,
So
shh, no.
you could use my code link in bio,
You don't
Colby
got
Nguyen
you got no code.
315,
You,
and you actually get 100% off your order. So
uh, don't support that garbage. Um, Prime sucks. Well, there goes a
Prime's good, man.
there goes that sponsorship if that ever was going to come. It's like he said Prime sucks this one time. So
Yeah, you're good.
I'm
Chat,
done.
we're good.
So anyway, guys, yeah, that's kind of our review on Terrifier. There isn't really that much to get into unless spoiling it, but no point of doing a spoiler review if you haven't seen the movie and it just came out. I don't know if we did. Did we do a I don't think we did really a spoiler review for the second one. I don't know. I think it was a non-spoiler review too. Um, but but yeah, it has its moments. It's fun, but does it's a little bit too long, and you can see it in the kills, you can see it in the story that they try to tell that is just a rehash of the second one. So, yep. Anyway, guys, if you guys enjoyed Terrifier 3, let us know in the comment section below. Let's have a conversation about it. Thank you for Kobe for joining me. Maybe he can come back on again throughout October or something,
Yes.
or maybe a movie commentary, and
Little flex.
show off that he has a better bicep than me, I guess. Anyway, guys, thank you much for watching. Like always, I'll see you
You
guys
guys can follow my gym account at the Asian Lifter 154. Um, yeah.
yes.